Where I'm from, there's not much there other than to play football.
Fowler scores for Liverpool.
I was an Everton fan growing up, but I had dreams of playing for Liverpool, the biggest club in the world, in my eyes. I think the people on the Kop, they all seen a little bit of themselves in me, and when all of them are behind you, then it certainly drives you on.
It is turned in! Robbie Fowler gets the goal that the Kop have been longing for.
Big football field just literally 20 yards from my house. We were just always forever playing on the field. I never played for a football team until I was 10. I was forever playing with my mates on the local pitch. It was a good ground for me because I was always playing with older players, and it sort of probably helped me. My family do still live there. And when I do pass, I see. I mean, the amount of kids playing on it now is frightening. So it worked for me, so hopefully it'll work for some of the others.
He was born and bred Scouser, brought up in Toxteth, Merseyside, sort of through the 70s and 80s. It was a difficult place to come. There wasn't a lot of jobs, so you had to really go out there and grasp the opportunity yourself. And Robbie certainly did that.
One of the teachers had put me forward to trials for Liverpool schoolboys.
Robbie was Liverpool schools, I think, and then obviously onto Merseyside schools, and Robbie got taken on by Liverpool.
Obviously a young kid at Liverpool, and straight from school I'd get the bus up to Melwood. This one particular night was really wet, it was really cold, and after training I've stuck my uniform back on, and Kenny's seen me at the bus stop. He offered to take me home, and I just couldn't believe it. And, the next day I couldn't wait to get to school and explain to everyone that the King had dropped me off.
There was obviously talk around the local scouts and sort of the school teachers that this kid was making noises, Robbie Fowler.
Liverpool were, in that era, that year, they were struggling a little bit, a little bit of a transitional period. Still had Ian Rush, Nigel Clough was playing, Paul Stewart was there, Ronnie Rosenthal. I was in and around the squad, but never got a look in. And then all of a sudden we lost to Everton on the Saturday. And there was Graham Souness was going to be big changes. He said that himself. When Graham Souness read the team out, told me I was going to play, I was shocked, to be honest. And then all of a sudden, I was a young lad playing for the biggest club in the world, in my eyes. I remember my third goal in that game. There was a free kick on the right of the box, and I've gone over there and left footed, I'll swing it in. And I seen Ian Rush actually make a run. And I tried to find him, and Ian Rush, unfortunate for him, missed it. Unfortunate for me, nestled into the far bottom corner. So 3 goals in a game for Liverpool was frightening. But to do it in Premier League and in the Kop end, against a good side who had some good players at the time was great.
This is Fowler. It's an explosive finish.
We knew about him from a young age, and of course once he got in the team. But Robbie got into the team with a very experienced Liverpool side, if you like. You can see that Robbie was a naturally talented goal scorer in terms of ability to score goals with either foot, his head, tap-ins, 25-yarders. He was just incredible.
I'd done reasonably well the season before, and obviously scored a few goals. But I think that game made people sit up and take notice of me.
Now it fall for Fowler. Robbie Fowler has given Liverpool the lead.
I'm playing against an Arsenal side which had obviously the England goalkeeper and 4 England defenders.
Fowler, the shot has gone in. It's 2.
I didn't realise the significance at the time. I didn't realise it was as quick as what it was. It felt forever on a pitch.
It's Fowler. Is this going to be his hat-trick? It has to be, surely, yes. Fowler 3, Arsenal 0.
it was not until after the game that I realised sort of what it meant. That is probably one record that I'd love to keep. To score a hat-trick in the Premier League is brilliant, but to score it in 4.5 minutes or 4 minutes 33 against an Arsenal side which consisted of 5 of the England the back line, so that's one that I will always remember.
I don't think anybody else would have done that. What they would have done is the ball was going out of the byline, just get it back into play. But to show the composure, to actually control it, bring it in half a yard off the line and just coolly put it in, shows what a just naturally talented goal scorer he was.
After the game I went out and into Liverpool, and coming out to the nightclub at the end, I was picked up by some fellas, and threw on the shoulder. So I remember walking out of this club, well, I weren't walking, these fellas walking, and they had me on the shoulders, and there was a load of people just staring and looking at me, and I didn't want it.
And it's Robbie Fowler. He's done it!
We had a good side, good group of young players, and I was always confident whenever I went into a game. I always felt I could score goals.
It's a goal! Robbie Fowler!
You can't get more scouts than being from Toxteth. And he still is a hero. But I think it's really because the connection he has with the fans.
They were living their dream through Robbie Fowler because he was a person of the city. He was from that place where they were from.
McManaman. Against the post from Collymore and in. Fowler gets the 100 and he's done it one game quicker than Ian Rush.
Look, when you think of Liverpool, you always think of great players, Ian Rush, John Barnes, Kenneth Dalglish, Graham Souness, and then all of a sudden, I'm up there with him, for scoring 100 goals in 165 games. I probably at times didn't probably realise how good I was, and for me to be doing this in the Premier League was unbelievable. I was mates with David Seaman from obviously our England days, and obviously the ball got played through.
And Robbie Fowler here, and he's round the keeper Seaman, who goes down, penalty given it is.
It wasn't a dive, it was just a fall with momentum, and the referee pointed to the spot, and I got up and obviously realised it wasn't a foul, and Big David was looking at me like he wanted to throttle me, and I was a little bit nervous at this time. I'm a little bit worried now the referee's going to send David Seaman off, and obviously didn't want it, so I'm just saying, listen, it wasn't a pen, he never touched me. Eventually, the referee managed to put him in an awful situation. He's had to give the penalty, and I ended up taking it.
Robbie Fowler can extend his extraordinary scoring sequence against Arsenal. Seaman makes the save, and McIntyre's in.
It was a good strike, and I did mean to score, but it was a good save from David Seaman. The good thing I got from it was the fair play certificate. But another good thing that happened that night as well was Jason McAtee got his first Liverpool goal from the rebound, so I think it worked out well for him anyway. He was happy.
I think Richard Tanner was writing for the newspaper. I think he come up with the tag. The Spice Girls were obviously flying, weren't they? They were the biggest pop band in the world. We'd bumped into them. Melanie was a Liverpool fan, and she'd been on stage in a Liverpool shirt, and it was quite well documented. We
went out and socialised and we mixed as a team, but we never done it at the wrong times, and I think that's probably why people sort of threw that at us, because they thought we were maybe enjoying life a little bit too much, and that was just not the case.
David Beckham and Ryan Giggs and people like that at that particular time, they used to go out and have fun and do whatever they're doing, but they're winning. So when you're winning, you're not called Spice Boys. We
were like the bridesmaids and never the bride, really. We're Man United, we're going on and winning them competitions, and people then overlooked that they were doing the same thing as us.
In terms of their willingness and their desire to succeed, it was equally as great as the Manchester United boys. So it was a bit unfair in calling them Spice Boys, because they really had a hunger and a desire.
People thought we were just a bit of a party team, and we weren't. We'd done everything proper, and we wanted to win, we wanted to succeed, but I keep saying it, but that other team down the road were we obviously wanted to do the same, and they were slightly better than us.
Why am I here? Roy wanted me to come, and I wanted to come to Liverpool Football Club on the condition he would stay on, and we worked together.
Yes, of course, the titles of joint managers may cause some concern to some. But with the discussions we've had over the period, I feel that we can complement each other.
It was clearly evident from the start it was never going to work because, as players, we didn't know who to go to, who to go and see. We didn't know really who made the decisions.
The joint manager thing just didn't work, and Gerrard had come in. We were only probably 2 or 3 players away from really challenging Manchester United. But Gerrard had different ideas.
I thought it was wrong, and probably still do now, to be honest. I think, look, if you're not happy with a manager, you should have just got rid of Roy Evans, and I think Roy probably would have accepted that.
It was a terrible time, really, and gradually Roy became a broken man and just couldn't do it anymore.
Today is a sad day for Liverpool Football Club, and for me personally, as I have to inform you that we have agreed by mutual consent that Roy Evans and his assistant Doug Livermore are to leave the club.
Whenever we played big games, I was not necessarily, first name down the team sheet. First and foremost, I have got to, listen to what the manager says. You might not necessarily agree with him, but I mean that's his prerogative. If he wants to do that, then fair enough. I just felt under Gerrard, and if you weren't playing, you were getting rested for this particular game, then. But then you go out and you train hard, and I couldn't fathom why. If you're getting rested, why would you train hard? Certainly as an English player, you want to play all the time, and I found it hard to get my head around it, and I don't think I was the only one. Gerrard came in on his own, and he's wanted to get his rules, he's wanted to get his ways, and he's wanted to get his players. So I mean, you can't blame any manager for coming in and changing what he thinks and what he feels to get right.
Gerrard would always seem to have the answers and tell you how it was, or tell you how it's going to be, and it's my way or the highway, and so it was difficult to adapt, and certainly I think Robbie found that difficult to adapt as well.
If there was any discussions going on, it would be in the manager's office, so we wouldn't actually see things like that. But he never disrupted the group. He was always positive. He was always wanting the group to do better because he was Liverpool through and through.
I went in to see Gerrard and just said, well, look, I am club captain. Then maybe I should be playing, and obviously his argument, well, no, you shouldn't. I just said, well. Will take the club captaincy off me because I'm not playing, and he couldn't believe I'd said that. And there was no intention to sort of get on the wrong side of him. I just felt the Liverpool captain should be the one who's captaining the side on the pitch.
Now then, we are going to see Robbie Fowler at long last.
2001 was unbelievable here in terms of what we won, but also disappointing because I didn't play as many games as what I thought I should have done or what I would have liked. And I know people within the club had tried to sell me, and I didn't necessarily want to leave, and I just felt as though I was fighting an uphill battle. Gerrard, he's a manager who wants his team to do well, and I'm a realist. If I'm not part of his plans, or he's not going to play me too much, then I don't think you can dislike the people for being honest, or doing what they feel as though they've got to do.
For him to leave that football club, there was tears, there was heartache, for Robbie to leave them fans that adored him. Must have been heartbreaking for him.
I just felt I needed to go because I was swimming into the current. But ultimately, it was my decision.
I think when Robbie Fowler signed, I think we were top of the league. We had a depth of squad. We had 2 internationals for every single position in the team, 3 in some places. So strength in depth was phenomenal. Great team spirit.
This is Mills. We're going to play it round. It's Robbie Fowler. He's done it! Fowler breaks his duck, and all of his teammates go to congratulate him. What a scene!
Leeds as a club is brilliant. I mean, the fans were tremendous, got right behind the team.
Ian Hart to hit one. Oh, yes! Robbie Fowler!
He was absolutely magnificent. Some of the goals he used to score were just unimaginable, were absolutely superb.
And Robbie Fowler, he's a true natural in front of goal.
Eventually there was a lot of problems within the boardroom level.
David O'Leary wondering, I'm sure, not just about today but about the long term.
A lot of players were getting sold. Not everyone could live with the big boys, if you like. Eventually it sort of backfired.
Financially, we were starting to fall apart. We were then, I think, 5th in the league. We weren't going to make the Champions League, and obviously the rest is history.
There was obviously a little bit of talk. A few of the bigger players needed to go, and I was obviously one of them. So Manchester City came in, and again, I didn't really want to leave Leeds and go to another club. I was happy there, I was comfortable there, but it became evident that players needed to. So when I had this medical at Man City, I just come out of there and said, "No," I said, "I'm going to stay at Leeds." Drives back to Leeds, go through the training ground, and as I'm driving in, one of the directors was driving out, and obviously puts the window down, so we're having a little chat, and I told him, I said, "I've made up my mind." I said, "I'm going to stay here." I said, "I want to stay here, I like it here, and I'm comfortable here." And he just said, "Take the money and run, son." He said, "This club's going under." It took me a while to sort of get me feeling for that place. Eventually, I managed to start performing a little bit better.
Bernabé is centre. Oh yes, it's flicked in by Robbie Fowler. His first goal for Manchester City.
One year I finished second or third as the player of the year, and that meant so much to me because I'd gone from being this bang average player at Man City to start to doing something right, which is what the fans deserve.
Robbie was still a great goalscorer. You give him a chance, he will put it away. But I think he had lost that little bit of pace. His hip hindered him at times. He couldn't maybe play as many games as he wanted to play. Wasn't as fit as he wanted to be.
Going back to Liverpool, I always think to myself, when you're a young lad and you have a girlfriend and then all of a sudden you haven't got her, but then you always want to go back to her if you see someone else with her, and that's what I was like with Liverpool. I get the phone call, would I be interested? I nearly dropped the phone, and of course, straight away I go to Anfield, have a little chat with Rick Parry and Rafa Benitez, and more or less signed straight away. I was looking up to play games for Liverpool, score lots of goals for Liverpool, and win trophies, but re-signing was by far the best thing that I ever done.
He said he sat in the car, realised what had happened. About a minute later, he realises this is the dream come true again, and he goes absolutely crazy. So, and you can imagine Robbie doing that. You can imagine how much that must have felt to him to go back to this iconic club and the club he supported. Not as a kid, but obviously to go back and do it all over again must have been so good.
We're winning 1-0 at the time. And I get, probably one of the best ovations anyone's ever had.
Robbie Fowler is back in the red for Liverpool.
I still look back on YouTube now and all the clips, and it's the noise for it. It's definite, and it's just unbelievable.
Bringing Robbie back was a bit of inspiration on Rafa's part, really, to bring him back to the club. It lifted the fans. I'd certainly say Robbie wasn't in the peak of his time, but was certainly scoring goals and could affect things. But I think Rafa brought him back to have a presence, to have Robbie Fowler in the dressing room.
Robbie Fowler gets the goal that the Kop have been longing for. The prodigal son is back, and he's back in familiar style with a goal.
You go on about players in clubs and what they've achieved and who they are and what they are, but Kenny Dalglish to the Liverpool fans is everything, and to get anywhere near him whatsoever was unbelievable.
Fowler can't miss. Robbie Fowler's second Liverpool goal on his return.
I'm up there in terms of goals scored for Liverpool, ahead of one of the greatest players ever, so I'm more than happy with that.
Fowler's touch. Now Crouch. Fowler! Give him an inch and he'll give you a goal.
And Robbie Fowler is going to come off, and the whole ground, not just the Liverpool fans but the Charlton fans as well, credit to them, will stand and applaud one of the great figures in Liverpool's history. He wasn't able to get a goal today, but on 183 occasions in the past he's done that for this great club.
Everything happened so quick the time before, so this time he could probably say a proper thank you and everything.
Walking around the pitch was, I don't think you can put it into words. I've got 4 kids, three daughters, and obviously a little boy. Little boy was only not long born, and all my kids had actually seen me play for Liverpool. And probably one of the most proudest things I've ever been was walking around Anfield with my little lad who actually got to see me playing for Liverpool.
This is Fowler. Rush is there too, and Fowler doesn't need him. He produces an explosive finish.
Of all the players that I played with, Robbie's probably the best finisher. He'd tell you where he's going to finish it and put it there.
He is the most naturally talented finisher that Liverpool have ever had in terms of just his natural ability to score goals with either foot, his head, tap-ins, 25-yarders. He was just incredible.
Things he could do, his angles were fantastic, and if you managed to get him away in a one-on-one situation, there was only one outcome, and that was a goal.
Liverpool fans are so special. I mean, it is hard to put into words of how good and how knowledgeable they are. When they take to anyone, I mean, they really take to you. And look, they took to me, and I was forever, ever grateful.
They can relate to him, and Robbie certainly give back tenfold, and that's why Robbie Fowler is a Liverpool legend.
For everything I've achieved in my career, I think a lot of it is down to Liverpool fans, the way they've stood by me. You know, I had a great career and I wouldn't swap anything for the world of it.